On today's episode, we will be discussing how to change our parenting style for teenagers.
So hard, so tough, man. Namita, as you and me have discussed, and we know so many of our viewers and friends, thank you for reaching out. And you've been requesting us to discuss how to transition from a young child parent to a teenage parent, because this is a huge, transition in a child's life. And we are like blown away. We don't know how to deal with it. And it's a tricky one. So I'm dealing with it myself. Today, I'm his best friend. Tomorrow, he doesn't want to talk to me. It's tough. I hope he's not watching this. We've had these rules for the past 10, 12 years. They're working great. We've got them packed down. This works for this. This works for this. We know how to discipline.
Yeah.
We're doing a good job, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same kids, same rules apply. Yeah, but teenagers are difficult, guys. These kids, they're changing emotionally, physically, and their social awareness is like a lot more, and they think they know everything. On top of it, they're struggling to become more independent. They've got all the stresses of the world. So what do we do?
Simrit, the largest complaint that I hear is that my child used to be so affectionate, so cuddly, discuss every little things with me, but now he's all private. He doesn't want me to hug him or cuddle him, or he feels embarrassed in public when I try to hug him or kiss him. And these parents, they find it so difficult to come to terms with these changes. So they blame themselves, or worse, they start fighting with the child, demanding communication, and which results in huge fights and total mess.
Yeah. And then, these fights aren't going to lead down a path that's enjoyable and at the end of the day, you're also frustrated because I see it like, the moms of teenagers, they're sitting there going, what happened? What was the fight about? We all need to just remember that your child suddenly becoming more private doesn't mean that they're hiding something, doesn't mean they're doing something wrong. They're going through their own private changes, and we got to respect that. But I see many parents react by invading their privacy, sitting in their room all the time, asking.
Yeah.
And we have to have a tact about it. Okay. They maybe, if you've given them social media, they start bombarding them saying, no, we have to see your social media and cell phones. Now, hang on. Me and Namita both are not going to say this is wrong. 13-year-old, 14-year-old, we're not talking about 18, 19-year-olds. And even then, the rules will apply. But 13, 14-year-olds, first of all, try not to give social media, guys. If you have those rules, really implement them. But if you have allowed it for whatever reason, it's not about your child being good. It's always good. But you do not let them go across a highway yourself. So don't let them go on virtual highways across the road themselves. So have the rules in place irrespective of the child's behavior. So just say, you guys, you're going to get social media, but it's going to be controlled by me. Bottom line. And don't do it as an overreaction or punishment. It's natural to be worried about your child as they change, but allowing anxiety overreactions could be damaging for the communication that parents want. Okay. So keep your anxiety. And if the child wants to, and I'm really bad at this, my husband's the one who's like, can you pull away? He's in his room. He's upset about a grade. He's upset about a fight in his school. Let him sit in his room. And my mind goes wild. I am lecturing or sounding like I'm lecturing, but I am really bad at this. But I got to distract myself and say, everything's going to be fine. He's not going to overreact. So I should not overreact. Social media should be controlled. But other than that, you got to step away when they need to be by themselves. Just remember that.
Absolutely. Something with social media came to in my mind. I read this news that in France or even in Australia, that they have, I would say stop social media for teenagers. Like they can only
Australia is doing that. Australia is doing that. They are going through legislature. I mean, it's not passed, but they're going through legislature that till 18 not have social. Guys, use that as a wake up call. Social media should. And social media doesn't just mean the Snapchat and the Facebook, which is anyways outdated. Nobody goes on Facebook, Instagram. It's not all these things. It's also WhatsApp. It's also the constant messaging, because those are giving dopamine, which will cause more of a mood swings. That instant reaction, we got to stop that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Simrit, communication is absolutely key. Teens often feel misunderstood or judged. So creating a space where they feel heard is essential. Instead of telling them what to do, ask open-ended questions that encourage them to think critically. Be curious rather than judgmental, and listen more than you speak. That's what I strongly feel. And this will strengthen trust and respect among them, and which is very crucial for their development and your relationship with them. So we need to give them that. And criticism can lead to teens to shut down or rebel. So focus on constructive feedback. A breakdown of communication, or where the child feels he can't trust his parents, or lead to a very unhealthy relationship. So then you're doomed. Okay. Then if that gets triggered, you are in trouble.
If you feel that you can't trust your child, it's bad. But if the child feels he can't trust you as parents, then he is on very shaky grounds. That's much worse, to have that base, your foundation being shattered. So try if they tell you something in confidence, keep it in confidence. Don't pick up the phone and tell your friend, your daughter, your did this. Don't do that. Step back. Learn how to manage your child. That's the main thing. And I've seen the other extreme too, Namita. We all have seen this. When a teenage child starts behaving older than their age, they want to make their own decisions, want to be more independent, they're dressing different, their interests are different. So the parent decides, I'm fine with this. Good. They're grown up. They can make their own decisions.
That's
worst.
That's
even worse. What these parents forget is that kids that age do not have the developmental situation to make sound decisions.
They might have developed physically, but mentally they're still kids. They're still 11, 12 years old. So
or 13, 14.
Yeah.
13, 14 talking about.
Yeah, we need to understand that. Yeah.
I've heard men who are like, yaar, mere se uncha ho gaya, ab main kya karu? It's like, seriously? His height is not his brain, guys.
Exactly.
Come on. Given the freedom to do whatever they want, kids will do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Just hear that. Given the freedom to do whatever they want, most kids will do that. Even in our social structures, I know of children who are experimenting. Parents have no clue because they've said, bada ho gaya, badi ho gayi hai. It's
kya kare, sunte nahi hai, haan, bade ho gaye hain. That's a typical dialogue.
But trying. They simply do not yet possess the tools to think ahead 5 years and see the potential results of impulsiveness. We also were in those ages, and we hid things from our parents, but we did not have access to cars and, going anywhere, Ubering it somewhere. And I am just very worried about these teenagers with too much freedom. Young teenagers. Teenagers need autonomy, but require guidance. The trick is finding the right.
And one of the key shifts here is from being more of an authoritative figure to more of a guide or mentor. That is what is needed. You can't be just, if your child has come to you and telling you something, you can't overreact. Oh, how dare you? You should not do it. Don't. And then putting those boundaries.
Don't be friends with that person.
Exactly. You're just shutting them down. They would not come to you again. They would do what they want to do, but they will not let you know. They would not come to you for that. So you need to be, a mentor, and you need to listen to them. It's fine. it was okay to make those clear boundaries and directions. That is fine that you have done. But that doesn't mean, letting go completely as well when they grow up, as you were saying. But it does mean moving towards a collaborative problem solving. Okay, sitting down together, talking, discussing, asking questions, why not, and maybe telling them your perspective about something, and let them think independently about it. Okay, he needs to listen to everyone, and then he needs to make his own decisions. And we have to give them. Yeah, we have to give them that independence, but we also have to make them understand the consequences. If you're taking this decision or something like that, you should be aware of the consequences. You should be ready for that. Remember, you're still a parent, right? We have to tell them all this. And after all, any mistakes they make, the responsibility is still yours.
Don't give them so much, don't give in to peer pressure yourself.
Yeah.
Parents are giving into their own peer pressure rather the child's always gonna push boundaries. It's up to you to stand firm on those boundaries. If you have said no for something, for whatever reason, then stay firm on it. Don't give in to peer pressure around.
And here, yes, the peer pressure will be there. They will be coming to you and like, my friend can do this. Why can't I? His mother or her mother never say no. She have always allowed. Why I'm not allowed? If even they are of same age, why these rules are for me and not for her? So we have to explain them why we are doing this, and come to a reasonable point as well. Where we feel okay, to this level it's acceptable. Then you have to understand it is not. It is very crucial for parents to pick their battles. Not every issue needs to be fought. Focus on bigger picture, safety, values, respect, rather than micromanaging their every move. That is also very important. And patience. Patience is key. Teens can be unpredictable and emotionally turbulent, but that's normal. That is part of their development. Don't take their mood swings or defiance personally. Keep the lines of communication open and remember that your role is evolving, okay, with them. You are still their parent, but you are also helping them become independent, responsible adults. So you have to remember that.
Yeah. This is a key word, what you said, and I want to repeat that. Our role is evolving. Remember that. Our role is not over. Our role is not over. It is evolving. We have to change with time. I'd add that it's important for parents to take care of themselves too, because parenting teenagers can be stressful. So, find ways, especially for mothers, of, de-stressing yourself, because when you're going through this, you had this kid, especially the hands-on mothers, and, a little guilty here of the same thing. You lose yourself in the process of bringing up your child. And after 12, 13 years, you're like, what do you mean they don't need me anymore? What do you mean that I'll study myself? Just get me a tutor. I don't need you. When they push back, it's hard for us mentally also. But understand they still need us. Now they want a little distance. And that's a good thing, because 5, 7 years from now, they have to be out on their own. This is their training period. So in your way, in this, instead of getting lost and angry and emotional and upset that my baby is growing up, go back to your own, what you enjoyed before you became a full-time mom or a dad. And then give them a little independence and have that quality time with them whenever you can. So yeah, it's not a smooth run, but I'm sure you guys can do it. Just keep those guidelines in mind.
Well, that's all on Talk to Us today. Hope you enjoyed our episode today. Please tell us in the comment section or email us at hello@talktoustoday.com how you felt about this episode, or any other topic or anything that you want us to discuss on our show. And let your friends know where to find us.
And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to stay notified of our new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Also, please do keep emailing us and telling us what you want us to talk about, just like today's episode was based on our viewer feedback. So, thank you for joining us on Talk to Us today. Remember to talk about Talk to Us today. Keep smiling, keep laughing. Most important, keep talking, guys. Thank you. See you next Friday.